Hello students, welcome to my YouTube channel. आज हम पढ़ा हिस्टोरिकल इंस्क्रिप्शन ओके जो जे पढ़ा हिस्टोरिकल इंस्क्रिप्शन जति सब इंपोर्टेंट इंस्क्रिप्शन रही है से सब विषय आलोचना करिया हला देखिया कोन कोन सब अछि प्रथम इंस्क्रिप्शन हमर अछि कोन उत्तर मेरु हला उत्तर मेरु इंस्क्रिप्शन कोन कोन अछि डिस्ट्रिक्ट ऑफ द साउथ ऑफ चेन्नई रे एटा अछि बुझु छै उत्तर मेरु इंस्क्रिप्शन टा It is noted for its temple inscription that describe a self-governance system को से कौन करे describe करे बोली कहे छला से उत्तर मेरु जहा माने कौन उत्तर मेरु वर्णना करा है आमे उत्तर मेरु inscription कौन सब जानते सेटा बोली कहे छला कौन होना self governance system से जानते एठी अछि existing around 7th to 9th century रे यह कौन थिला बोली कहे छला उत्तर मेरु inscriptions ओके आदि नंबर कौन छै हमर इंस्क्रिप्शन ना हो ईरान इंस्क्रिप्शंस एते एटा कोठी छै ना सागर डिस्ट्रिक्ट ऑफ मध्य प्रदेश रे अछि हमर ईरान इंस्क्रिप्शन एटा से ईरान इंस्क्रिप्शन देखै चित्र एटा हला एटा ईरान इंस्क्रिप्शन रहि छै इट इज एन अर्लीस्ट एविडेंस ऑफ सती फाउंड इन इंडिया हला the Iran inscriptions are a group of stone inscription रहि छै टाइप रे हला फाउंडेड इन ईरान एटा फाउंडेड होइतला मध्य प्रदेश हला इंडिया dating back to the Gupta period hela they provided valuable insights into the administrative विषय लिखा political hela and social history of the Gupta Emperor Gupta Empire विषय जो सब हम देखले administrative रहि छै हला political system social history से किपन भाबरे कोन ताकर सब थिला systems से सब विषय लिखा है छै कोन ईरान इंस्क्रिप्शन लिखा छै and related regions हला तो देखा 3 नंबर कोन दीजिए बेसनगर बा विदिशा इंस्क्रिप्शंस विदिशा इन प्रेजेंट मध्य प्रदेश रा छै हला this pillar inscription was constructed by Herodotus a Greek ambassador and belonged to the Sunga period बुझछ it is written in Prakrit language written करै छै with a few Sanskritic spelling on it अछि and Brahmi script ता कहल छला बेस नंबर बा विदिशा इंस्क्रिप्ट कोन कहछ ना हमर ब्राह्मण इंस्क्रिप्ट माने स्क्रिप्ट बोल कहछ this pillar inscription is devoted to Lord वासुदेव को डिवोटेड करा है चला ए सब एटा हो से पिलर टा हमर बेस नंबर विदिशा इंस्क्रिप्शन हला एटा जो चित्र देखो जे एटा हला तब हे कोन दिस 4 नंबर जूनागढ़ इंस्क्रिप्शन हे कोन दिस the Junagadh inscription also known as the Ginnar rock inscription ମଧ୍ୟ କୁହାଯାଉଛି ହେଲା କଣ ଜୁନାଗଡ଼ inscription କଣ କହିପାରିବା गिरनार rock inscription ବୋଲି କହିପାରିବା ରୁଦ୍ରରମଣ ହେଲା ଅଫ ରୁଦ୍ରରମଣ ସମୟରେ ଏଇ ଯେ ସଂସ୍କୃତ prose inscription ବୋଲି କୁହାଯାଉଛି ହେଲା ଅନେ rock near ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ଆମେ ଚିତ୍ର ଦେଖୁଛେ ଏଇ rock ଏଟା ହଉଛି ପଥର ଶିଳା ହେଲା ଏଠି ସବୁ ଲେଖା ହେଇଛି ଦେଖ ଏଇ ଟାଇପ ରେ ସବୁ ଜୁନାଗଡ଼ inscription ହେଲା Ginnal Hill in Junagadh, Gujarat, India. Thala. It was inscribed by the Western satraps ruler Rudraraman I Savarela, and it is dating to shortly after 150 CE. The inscription contained text from Ashoka, Rudraraman I and Chandragupta. The location of the inscription is founded on a rock near Ginnar Hill ହେଲା near Junagadh Gujarat India ତା ଲୋକେସନ ଅଛି ତାରେ inscription of Rudraraman I କଣ ଦେଖିବା Rudraraman I a western କ୍ଷତ୍ରପା ruler inscribed with the inscription making it a significant historical source of his range and the period ହେଲା ତାଙ୍କ range ବା ତାଙ୍କ period ସମୟରେ ସବୁ ଦେଖିବାକୁ ମିଳିଥିଲା ବୋଲି କହୁଛି ହେଲା The language and script कौन लिखा है this script is written in a Sanskrit prose using Brahmin script है सेटा संस्कृत में लिखा ହେଇଥିଲା ବୋଲି କହୁଛି ହେଲା on the Brahmin script content କଣ ସବୁ ଲେଖା ଥିଲା the inscription content information about Rudraraman I range ରେ କଣ discussion କରା ହେଇଥିଲା including his achievement ବିଷୟ ମଧ୍ୟ ଲେଖା ହେଇଥିଲା and his refer to the କ'ଣ ସୁଦର୍ଶନ ଲେକ୍ ମଧ୍ୟ ସେ ରିପେୟାର କରିଥିଲେ ହେଲା, ସେସବୁ ମଧ୍ୟ ଲେଖା ଅଛି। ଏ ଡ୍ୟାମ୍ ବିଲ୍ଡ ବାଇ ପୁଷ୍ୟଗୁପ୍ତ ମଧ୍ୟ କରିଥିଲେ ବୋଲି ଲେଖା ହେଇଛି। ଇଟ୍ ଅଲସୋ ମେନସନ୍ ଦି ଡିଫିଟ୍ ଅଫ୍ ସାତକର୍ଣ୍ଣି ଆଣ୍ଡ ଦି ରିଷ୍ଟୋରେସନ୍ ଅଫ୍ ଦି ଲେକ୍ ବୋଲି କୁହାଯାଇଥିଲା। ସିମ୍ପଲି ମନେ ରଖିବ ଆମର ଯୋଉ ସୁଦର୍ଶନ ଲେକ୍ କିଏ କରିଥିଲେ ବୋଲି ମନେ ରଖିବ ହେଲା, ଏସବୁ ଇମ୍ପୋର୍ଟାଣ୍ଟ ଥିଙ୍ଗସ୍। ତାର କ'ଣ ଦେଇଛି 5ରେ Mehrauli inscriptions. The Mehrauli Iron Pillar in Delhi features an inscription generally attributed to the Gupta Emperor Chandragupta II. Praising a king named Chandra, this inscription written in Sanskrit and in the Sardulvikita metal is considered a eulogy of the king ବୋଲି କୁହାଯାଉଛି ହେଲା। ତାର କିଙ୍ଗ ଚନ୍ଦ୍ରଗୁପ୍ତ ଦେଖିବା। The current inscription mention a king named Chandra who is often identified as Chandragupta II of the Gupta dynasty. Eulogy ବିଷୟ ଦେଖିବା। The inscription is written in a style that suggests it a posthumous eulogy celebrating the king's achievement ହେଲା। এই দেখো সেটা আমার কোনটা রয়েছে আমরা Mehrauli inscriptions ହେଲା ଏଇଟା। ତାର କ'ଣ ଦେଇଛି, the inscription describe the king as a devotee of God ବୋଲି Vishnu and records the erection of a Dhwaja standard of pillar ହେଲା of Vishnu on a hill called Vishnupada. Hill of the footprint of Vishnu ମଧ୍ୟ ଏଇଟା ଅଛି ହେଲା। Other Gupta inscription also describe Chandragupta II as a Bhagavad ହେଲା, devotee of Vishnu. It is probably erected by Chandragupta ବିକ୍ରମାଦିତ୍ୟଙ୍କ ଦ୍ୱାରା erected ହେଇଥିଲା। It mentions Chandragupta II conquest over Banga country and Bhattakas. The pillar bear a Sanskrit inscription in the Brahmi script ହେଲା। ତାର କ'ଣ ଦେଇଛି, Aihole inscription ଦେଖିକି କ'ଣ ଦେଇଛି, ଭଗଲକୋଟ କର୍ଣ୍ଣାଟକରେ ଅବସ୍ଥିତ। The Aihole inscription also known as the Aihole ପ୍ରଶସ୍ତି ମଧ୍ୟ କୁହାଯାଉଛି ଯେ 99 Sanskrit inscription founded as the Megudi Jain temple in Aihole, Karnataka, India, composed by ରବିକୀର୍ତ୍ତି compose କରିଥିଲେ। The court poet of Chalukya king Pulakesin II ହେଲା। ଦେଖ court poet of କି ଆମର ରବିକୀର୍ତ୍ତି ଥିଲେ। କୋର୍ଟ ପଏଟ୍ରି ଅଫ୍ କାହାର ନା ଚାଲୁକ୍ୟ କିଙ୍ଗ ପୁଲକେଶନ II ପାଖରେ ସେ କ'ଣ ଆମର କୋର୍ଟ ପଏଟ୍ରି ଥିଲେ ହେଲା। ତାର କ'ଣ ଦେଖିବା, ଇଟ୍ ଡେଟେଡ୍ ବ୍ୟାକ୍ ଟୁ 634 CE to 635 CE. The inscription is a penaltic praising Pulakesin II and his conquest, particularly the defeat of the Harshavardhan and mention the shift of the capital from Aihole to ବାଦାମୀକୁ ଯୋଉ ତାଙ୍କ କ୍ୟାପିଟାଲ ସିଫ୍ଟ କରିଥିଲେ ସେସବୁ ବିଷୟରେ ମଧ୍ୟ ଆମର ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ଜାଗାଟା ରହିଛି ଯୋଉ Aihole inscription ଏଇ ଛୋଟିଆ ଜାଗାଟା ହେଲା, ଏଇଠି ଲେଖା ଅଛି ସେସବୁ ବିଷୟରେ। ଏଇଟା Aihole inscriptions ଏଇଟା ହଉଛି କ'ଣ ନା ମେଗୁତି ଟେମ୍ପଲ ଏଇଟା ହେଲା, କୋଉଠି ଅଛି କର୍ଣ୍ଣାଟକ। ଏଇଠି ଦେଖ କ'ଣ ବଗଲକୋଟ କର୍ଣ୍ଣାଟକ ସିମ୍ପଲି ଏଇଟା ଅଛି। ଏଇଟା ହଉଛି ମେଗୁତି ଟେମ୍ପଲରେ ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ସାଇଡରେ ଲେଖା ଅଛି ଏଇଟା ହଉଛି Aihole inscription ବୋଲି କହୁଛି ସିମ୍ପଲି। The inscription was written by ରବିକୀର୍ତ୍ତି ବୋଲି କୁହାଯାଉଛି। The court poet of Chalukya II ହେଲା। Allahabad Pillar Inscription ଦେଖିବା କ'ଣ ଦେଇଛି। The Allahabad Pillar is a ସ୍ତମ୍ଭ containing of a pillar edict of Ashoka erected by Ashoka, Emperor of the Maurya dynasty, who reigned in the 3rd century BC ହେଲା। While it is one of the extant pillars that carry Ashokan Edict with kuhaଯାଇଥିଲା, it is particularly notable for containing a letter inscription attributed to the Gupta Emperor Samudragupta 4th century CE, also engraved on a stone are inscription by the Mughal Emperor Jahangir from 17th century ହେଲା ଏଟାକୁ ଆମେ କହୁଛି କ'ଣ ଆମର ଆହ୍ଲାବାଦ ଇନସ୍କ୍ରିପସନ ବୋଲି କହୁଛି ଏଠି ହେଲା ତାର କ'ଣ ବେଷ୍ଟ ପଏଣ୍ଟସ ଦେଖିବା according to some scholars two pillar was moved from the originally location and installed within Akbar Allahabad port in Prayagraj ହେଲା formally କ'ଣ Allahabad Uttar Pradesh by Emperor Akbar himself but his theory is disputed by other scholars who point out the absence of any confirmatory evidence that the pillar was moved and pre-Mughal inscriptions that indicated that it was already present in its current location as the fort is now occupied at the Indian Army. The public are only allowed limited access to the premise and special permission is required to the view the pillar. The Allahabad pillar is a single shaft of polished standard standing 35 foot ଅଛି ଯୋଉଟା ଆମେ 10.7 meter high ବୋଲି କହିବା it has a lower diameter of 35 inches 0.9 meter ବୋଲି କହିବା and an upper diameter of 26 inches 0.7 meter କହିବା the customary lutiform belly shaft capitally seen the other Ashoka pillar is lost as he is whichever statue mounted it however the abacus adorned by a graceful scroll of alternate lotus and honeysuckle that the statue must have rested upon was found nearby Chunningham believed that the capital must have been mounted by a single lion. The abacus is almost identical and the one found at the pillar at Sankhya suggesting proximate erection period. ତାର ଏଇ କ'ଣ ହାତୀଗୁମ୍ଫା ଇନସ୍କ୍ରିପସନ ଦେଇଛି The Hathigumpha Inscription located in Udayagiri near Bhubaneswar, Odisha is a significant historical document that provided insight into the range of Kharavela ଦେଇଛି a ruler of କ'ଣ ମହାମେଘବାହନ dynasty of କଳିଙ୍ଗ ବୋଲି କୁହାଯାଏ କାହାକୁ ଖାରବେଳଙ୍କୁ କୁହାଯାଏ it is inscribed in Brahmi script and popular language ମଧ୍ୟ ତାଙ୍କ ଲେଖାଯାଇଥିଲା ହାତୀଗୁମ୍ଫା ଶିଳାଲେଖଟା ଆମର detailing Kharavela's military campaigns administrative achievement and religious belief especially his patronage of Janin it was commissioned by Kharavela the ruler of Kalinga during 2nd century BC before common era BC. The inscription consists of 70 lines providing details about Kharavela's range and his military victory and public works and his promotion of Jainism. এটা আমার ଦେଇଛି ଆମ ସିଷ୍ଟମ ଆପଣଟା କ'ଣ ଦେଇଛି ଆମର ହାତୀଗୁମ୍ଫା ଶିଳାଲେଖ ହେଲା ଉଦୟଗିରି ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱର ଏଇଟା ଅଛି ହାତୀଗୁମ୍ଫା ଶିଳାଲେଖ ହେଲା ଏଇଠି ତମର ଇନଷ୍ଟ୍ରକ୍ସନ ଯାହା ଲେଖାଥିଲା ପ୍ରକୃତି ଲାଙ୍ଗୁଏଜ ସବୁ ଲେଖା ଅଛି ହେଲା ତାର କ'ଣ ଦେଇଛି ନହେଲେ ଲୁମ୍ବିନି ପିଲର ଇନସ୍କ୍ରିପସନ ଦେଇଛି the Lumbini pillar inscription also called a Paderia inscription is an inscription is the ancient Brahmin script ଲେଖା discovered the December କେବେ discover କରାଯାଇଥିଲା ଆମର 1856 pillar of Ashoka in Lumbini ହେଲା ସେ ଲୁମ୍ବିନି ଠାରେ କ'ଣ ଏଟା ଆମର discover କରାଯାଇଥିଲା କେବେ 1896 Ashoka in Lumbini ହେଲା Nepal by formed chief of the Nepal's army general Khogda Shamsher Jung Bahadur Rana under the authority of Nepalese government and assisted by Alois Antony Pohral. Another famous inscription discovered near a similar contest is the Nigali Sagar inscription. The Lumbini inscription is categorized among the minor pillar edict of Ashoka and is the commemoration of his visit in the area. Lumbini was made a World Heritage Site by NESCON କେବେ 1897। Ancient historical record of Buddhist monuments of region made by the ancient Chinese monk pilgrim faction in the early 5th century CE and by another ancient Chinese monk pilgrim Zhuang in the 7th century CE had been used as an effort to search for the place to earth of Gautam Buddha said to the Lumbini and his ancient city of Kapilavastu, the Lumbini pillar itself set up where the Buddha was born. It was mentioned by Zhuang, who said that it was surmounted by the sculpture of a horse and that it had been broken in half, but he never mentioned the presence of an inscription, which, according to Vincent A. Smith, may already have been hidden by the time he visited in the 7th century. The description by Zhuang added that the pillar was slipped in two and fallen on the ground by the time he saw it. ତାର କଣ point ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି ଦେଖିବା? The Lumbin inscription is the third person written by Sumans reporting a past visit. Devanam Priya Priyadarshi and is written in a Devanam Priya Priyadarshi, one name contracted to the other edict of Ashoka. So by its own internal evidence, it may have been written by any time in his after the after the 4th century BC, before being discovered by rediscovered by in the 19th century. The qualifier used the Buddhist in the inscription on the Shakyamuni, which is partly Sanskrit from the Prakriti Shakyamuni. Our sage of the Shaka, although the fully Sanskrit is from would be Shakyamuni pronounced Shakyamuni. The problem is the rest of the inscription is entirely the Prakrit and the Sanskrit inscription are not otherwise arrested before the 1st century BC, 1st century CE, Shakyamuni only appear the Lumbin inscriptions, the other known form being Shako in the Papyrus inscription. Shako. In the Pali literature, Shako is the Prakrit literature, Shako. And Shako is the epigraphy record. The point also the Buddha is never mentioned in the major pillar edict nor the major rock edict, and only appear once is the boiled temple inscription. The inscription was discovered by Nepalese general Kodwa Samsar and famous Anton Ferrer initially was not there and arrived shortly after the discovery. The engraving is the extremely good condition and seems fresh, arguable because the portion of the pillar which contained the inscription remained underground for so long. Still, when Rice David made a copy of inscription in Odisha, he noted that it was almost as if a freshly cut. Following re-examination 50 years later, academic commented the pillar bear an inscription of Ashoka very well preserved. The lines are straight and letter very tastefully written. It was appeared as if inscription had been very recently insights. আমরা এসবও ଦେଖିବା ଏଇଟା ହେଲା এটা আমার লুম্বিন পিলার এটা না লুম্বিন পিলার এটা সিম্পলি ওকে everyone, thank you.